Okay, thank you, Fatima, and congratulations to the organizers of this event. It's a pleasure to be here. I was invited in the previous occasions. Unfortunately, I couldn't be here. So it's a pleasure to be here, of course, with my team of judges. I'll start with them so they tell you as debaters what they expect from you. I believe you've gone through rigorous training since the initiation of this activity, but they'll just tell you what they expect from you before I summarize. Where do I start from? Start from the ladies. Ladies, you want to start? Not ladies first. Okay, so
That's just the lady AC I meant.
Lady AC.
Yes.
Okay, Lady AC, you have the honor to start.
Yeah, so we just do that quickly and
Good afternoon. So my message is to the debaters. Yesterday we had a very brief session here, and I'll just reiterate everything I said yesterday, and that is that I expect that the debate is going to be a very good one, and I know you'll give it your best. However, I want this topic to be something that we're going to deal with extensively. The debate over the 3 years and the 5 years journal has been very, very intense. We've been seeing it all over. So our task today is to harmonize everything that is being said and put it on a professional debate-like manner, and this is what I expect. So I expect a very good research, and I expect that each and every debater today is going to give this debate your best. It's like your life depends on it. This is what debaters do. When we debate, we act like our life depends on the debate. Without the debate, we're going to die. So that is how you should do it today, and I wish you the best. If you're able to make it up to the final, it means you can win this debate. That is the spirit, and yes, debaters are people who are always confident no matter what, and that confidence is what we need today. Thank you.
thank you so much. Yes. Chief Judge.
Thank you. Just a minute too for the remaining judges. Mariam, you don't? Okay. Bubakar, you want to say something? Okay. So we expect engagement. Let the war begin. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And may I ask the time for the first speakers from each of the bench, the Prime Minister and yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to go through that because I believe they were briefed on that yesterday. This is the British parliamentary system of debating. Obviously, the speakers each have 7 minutes to advance their arguments. So normally, this is how it goes. We will have the opening government. The first speaker would be the Prime Minister who would open the arguments for his or her bench. And then we'll have a response from the opposition bench, the opening opposition led by the opposition leader. And then we come back to the opening government. The Deputy Prime Minister would then respond, and we would have the Deputy Opposition Leader. That will end the first half of the debate. So it's two halves. We have the first half, which are the opening teams, opening government, and opening opposition, and then we move to the closing end of the debate, and that involves the closing sides, closing government, and closing opposition. So in the closing government, we would have the government member, who would be the third speaker. After the government member, would have the opposition member, and then we have the whips close. They were, as I said, trained on this yesterday, so the role of the whips is not to introduce any new arguments. So that is how actually it goes. So we just start, actually. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I'll hand over to you. But before I do that, I just invite the Prime Minister from the opening bench to do his deliberations. A round of applause for Mr. Abdullahi Cham.
So I'll be the timekeeper for the debate. And the rule is when you start I'll clap for you to start. So when you start, after 1 minute, I'll clap again, meaning time for point of information. So after 5 minutes, I'll clap again, meaning POI is over. After 7 minutes, the debate is 7 minutes. So after 6 minutes, I'll clap again to tell you have 1 minute to wrap up. So after the 6 minute, the 7th minute, end of the 7th minute, I'll clap 2 times, meaning your time is over. So we'll give you 15 seconds to wrap up. After the 15 seconds, it means whatever you were saying, we're not going to capture it as part of our score sheet, and I'll continue clapping for you to step down. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker of the House.
Sorry, just a minute. Pardon. You may begin.
Mr. Speaker of the House, the members of the government bench, and the members of the opposition bench, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. It's in my capacity as the Prime Minister that I stand here to debate on the topic which states that this House believes that President Barrow should honor the 3 years agreement. But first, I would like to give the structure of my debate. First, I will define the key terms, give the background of the topic, why we are supporting this topic, tell you how our proposals can be met, and then I summarize and conclude. Mr. Speaker, to define the key terms, the first key term in the topic is honor. And honor, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, means to give respect or consideration to a particular thing. And the 3 years agreement is a term that is saying that President Barrow campaigned under the banner of the coalition 2016 as a coalition, as the flag bearer of a coalition that will fight to get a transitional government that will clear grounds for a development-oriented government to come in. That is a transitional government. So, Mr. Speaker, why is this topic even relevant to us? Why is it important? That brings me to the background. In October 2016, 6 political parties and a independent candidate, came together, parked aside all their differences, and decided to form a coalition. That is because there was an emergency, something that they needed to solve. And that is what brings a transitional government. So, Mr. Speaker, why are we as a government bench supporting this topic? Why are we saying that Barrow should honor the 3 years agreement? First, my first point is, before we get to that, what is a transitional government? A transitional government is an emergency government that is set to clear grounds for an election to be done, and then after that election, another government will come. That is a government-oriented government. A development-oriented government. I just want us to know the difference. So my first point is, a transitional government is to do reforms. And these are the reforms that were in the manifesto of the 2016 coalition, which they campaigned with. And they were reforms on constitution, public institutions like NOEC, GRTS, Janet Commission, TRRC, security sector, anti-corruption. And if you look at this, the Barrow government have even failed in being a transitional government because all these reforms are not even met like the way it should be. For instance, when it comes to the constitutional reform, it's CRC. CRC is ongoing and it's already bringing chaos. And how are we assured that the constitution that will be reformed will even reflect the ideas of the people as far as they are already questioning it? Mr. Speaker, another thing is the Janet Commission. When the Janet Commission brought forward their proposals, not all the recommendations they brought forward were considered. For instance, when part of those pointed at were people like Amadou Sane, who is now working on the Barrow government. Amadou Sane, as I'm speaking, is working on the Barrow government, and he was identified to be part of those people who are guilty of embezzlement in the former regime. So what is the importance of clearing when he, who was pointed at, is actually working for them? And the other thing is, the protocol officer of the president, as I am speaking, was also found to be guilty by the Janet Commission. So it was just a waste of funds, and the ideas were never taken. So, Mr. Speaker, how are we assured that the TRRC is even important? How are we assured that it's not even a waste of funds? Because at the end of the day, despite all the revelations, he will choose on what to take and what not to take, because what he demonstrated in the Janet Commission was a clear demonstration of what? Selective justice. Mr. Speaker, now a transitional government moved from what? Transition to development, which was not supposed to be done. And that brings me to my second point, which is National Development Plan. The first mistake that President Barrow did was to bring National Development Plan. You are a transitional government. You are not development-oriented. That was not supposed to be done. Now, even if we consider that, let's get into what the National Development Plan is planning to do and what is being achieved. They talk about improvement in health. They talk about mechanized agriculture and youth empowerment. Which health is improved? Still, in the hospitals, we have the complaint of only paracetamols are given in the hospitals. And if you look at it, even the president is spending. I will not take that now. The president is spending $2 million. The president is taking $2,024,000 on just food per month. That $2,024,000 could have been used to develop the health sector. So how do you expect somebody who is just who is spending $2,024,000 as food to be able to develop the health sector. And the other thing is mechanized agriculture. We have realized that this year, the national produce, the national harvest is lower than the previous years. And this was known by an interview by an interview of the farmers around, prominent farmers who clearly stated that the produce this year is low because of only one reason, that is, they are not being supported. And if we talk about youth empowerment, why would some few weeks ago, over 69 Gambian youths die in the Mediterranean Sea? Where is youth empowerment? Now, how can he honor the 3 years judgment? It's simple. If a gentleman agrees when he or she does something that is wrong, apologize to the state. That is just simple. I was the one who said this, and it's my mistake that I intended to stay for long, and now I'll step down. Or I have an alternative, that is, let them do a referendum. If the referendum is done, we'll know how many Gambians want him to stay, and how many Gambians don't want him to stay. With this alternative, I believe the problem will be solved. So, Mr. Speaker, I have given the key terms, I have given the background, I have told you why we are supporting this motion, and I have also told you how, and I gave an alternative. So in that way, I conclude. Thank you.
We thank the Prime Minister for that speech, and we invite the opposition leader to respond to the speech of the Prime Minister.
The bite of a vampire cannot do any harm.
You may go ahead. Thanks.
The bite of a vampire cannot do any harm to the back of the tortoise. And if the rat in front falls into the pit, then the ones behind will try to find a caution. Mr. Speaker, panel of adjudicators, members of the high table, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. I go by the name Ramatulai Gassama, representing St. Joseph Senior Secondary School. And speaking in my capacity as the opposition leader, Mr. Speaker, please allow me to lay down the structure of my debate. First of all, I would like to debunk on the baseless point made by the Prime Minister. I will give 3 solid reasons, 3 solid points why President Barrow should not agree to this 3 years agreement. I will give you contextual examples. I will summarize my debate, and then I will finally conclude. Mr. Speaker, to my surprise, a Prime Minister of a National Assembly came here and started talking blah, blah, thinking that this is a house of lunatics. Prime Minister, this is a house of intellectuals. Next time when coming, please come with facts and not just mere opinions. He made mention that how can we assume that the TRRC is beneficial to us? Mr. Speaker, we have seen a lot of things that are going on right now. How do we came to know about all these brutalities that we are on? Is it not through the TRRC? Yes. It is. And as a result, it is very beneficial to our country and even to us, the youths, so that if we were having this mentality of doing or being bad leaders, we would have eradicated that now and then try to take the step of a good leader. Now to my own point, Mr. Speaker, President Barrow should be allowed to continue his 5 years in office with authentic reasons. And my first reason is based on the legal agreement we have for elections. Mr. Speaker, the legal agreement we have for election is 5 years and not 3 years. And ignorance to the law is not an excuse at all. And these people that are carried away by this 3 years journey are just misled by the mere propaganda of political propagandas that are telling them promises that they will never fulfill. So, I don't blame the president, I blame the citizens because they seem to be ignorant citizens. According to the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia, Section 63, subsection 1 states that if a president is elected in an office, he should serve for that office like for 5 years before another election will be held. Mr. Speaker, so if someone come and stand here start telling us about the 2016 coalition referendum, this memorandum, is it more honorable than the constitution that was made since 1997? It is not, because it's the constitution that is governing the state. So that is just a mere joke or an opinion, please. So, Mr. Speaker, my second point is based on it will undermine the development agenda. Mr. Speaker, honoring the 3 years agreement will undermine the development agenda of President Barrow. Let's look at some of the initiatives that are going on right now, such as the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commissions, the Janneh Commission, and the Constitutional Review Commission. They are just here to help the country. I will not say like they are not doing good as if what the Prime Minister said, because he's just misleading us. They are here helping. And who knows the person who is coming next, whether he is going to follow the initiative that Barrow has or not. We don't know. So that person may come and then decide to let go of what Barrow wanted to go, it's planning for. And then at the end, everything will go down. And then this TRC and the CRC, they have used a lot of money to invest in this thing to be held. So as a result, it's going to be a failure to the country's economy. And just recently, the news, it is said that President Adama Barrow is currently building a college at Basse. Who knows? There are a lot of people in the provinces who normally migrate from that place to this place here just to have access to university and the college. So I believe if this college is built at Basse, it will encourage those students to be able to attend that college and prevents the migration to this place, because there are a lot of problems that are encountered due to that, such as traffic congestion, high crime rates. All those things are due to increase in population in the rural areas. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe if this college is built there and it is successful, and that can only be if Barrow's 5 years regime continues and not the 3 years. Mr. Speaker, to my next point, it's about economic reasons. The 3 years agreement, which has now become a political issue, has a very negative impact in the country's economy. Just look at just look at the last protest that happened. That day, many students didn't go to school, many people didn't go to work, and most especially, many businesses were closed. Do we know how many dollars we have lost that day? Do we know how many millions we have lost that day, which could even contribute immensely in the country's development when it comes to economy? So, Mr. Speaker, they cannot just come here and then tell us things that have no use. So we know that how many it is said that when you're doing something, do it for a purpose. As Halifa Saleh said in one of his speeches, that knowledgeable people do not partake in anything that has no purpose. So it means that this 3 years journey has no purpose, because they're not going to get anything from it, one, and then they will not be able to meet their goals, because all they are doing is to increase problems and not to help the country to develop. Mr. Speaker, I would now like to summarize my debate. First, I have debunked on the baseless point made by the Prime Minister. I have given my reasons, which were based on the legal agreement, and it will undermine the development agenda. I have given the economic factors, and I have given the last protest as a typical example of it. I'll summarize, and then I'll conclude my debate by saying, do not follow those who always take you to the wrong path, because all they do is to make you astray. Thank you.
Thank the opposition leader for that speech, and we call on the Deputy Prime Minister to strengthen the case of the government bench.
Our intellectuality is not shown by the tortoise. We don't attack personalities, we attack issues. Speaker of the House, the Chamber, and parliamentarians. Speaker of the House, in my capacity as the Deputy Prime Minister of this debate, I'm first going to set down the structure of my debate. First, I will redirect the House that has been misdirected by the opposition leader, straighten the points of my Prime Minister, introduce my points, summarize, and in summary, I conclude. Speaker of the House, you know, it's so unfortunate that the opposition leader has not been listening. The Prime Minister has not talked about TRRC is not beneficial to the people. He was saying that he don't know whether the recommendation of TRRC, whether they will be met or not, because that's what happened to the Janneh Commission. A selective justice was what done. So Speaker of the House, and not to debunk everything that he has said, he has talked about the legal agreement, which is the constitution. It's very true that it's the constitution that allows a president to stay here for 5 years. However, it is the same constitution that allows a president to resign anytime he wills. And here, from the section 65, subsection A, subsection 1, paragraph A reads, the office of the president shall become vacant during the term of a presidency on death or resignation of the president. Then hence that is the case, the president has the constitutional right to go down anytime he wills. So the mandatory of the constitution cannot counter him in this case. You know, talking about constitutionalism, in fact, let us come to this. The constitution has not been drawn by goats or animals in the jungle. The constitution are drawn by the people themselves. And you know what happened? As the human being, you have your choices, you have your needs, and they fluctuate by time. If we as a Gambian people go up to an extent that this is not what we want, and we want this, a leader is supposed to be there to condone to what we want. That's what we call for. And if the voice of the people is the voice of God, and trust me, if you do not hear the people, you will fall down. Speaker of the House, and now to straighten the points of my Prime Minister. My Prime Minister has talked about the NDP, which is the National Development Plan. The first thing that he failed to understand was he is not a development-oriented president. He is a transitional-oriented president. Being the case, he was not supposed to send the NDP. And to mind you, the NDP does not belong to President Barrow. It belongs to any government that comes. So it was absolutely not his case. This is where he failed to realize his sense of purpose. Under the NDP has talked about health, he has talked about security, has talked about agriculture. The agriculture this year, since Gambia has started in the investment of agriculture, this was the worst year that has ever happened in the Gambia. And as well, you can even give a vivid example of what happened the last time with the rainfall. Speaker of the House, and let us even talk about this, talking about this National Development Plan. Let me just screw you down to this. When the MOU was signed, there was this recommendation, which is most important that we want to talk about here, is most of the recommendations here were, one, we the signatories of this memorandum comprising the representative member parties of the Gambia opposition for electoral reform. That was one of the recommendation. Two, the flag bearer shall head a transitional government for 3 years as a president, and that was two. Thirdly, the flag bearer, once elected as president, shall organize and supervise a presidential election at the end of 3 years term, which he will not participate as a candidate. Yes.
You're saying that the Constitution was made by the people and not animals. Yes, which is true. But then the Constitution said 5 years, and then now it's the same people who were part of those making the Constitution are saying 3 years. Can you please, is it not a correction?
Thank God that she cannot, but to help her, she was, as I have said, human beings are choices. Their choices fluctuate by time. If you want, come on, you will want blue, and at the time, as time goes, you will want red. And if you want red, come on, you must use it. So if your choice fluctuate, you should assign to that. Speaker of the House, and now to my point. My first point is accountability. To avoid any potential threat to our fragile peace right now, it's better that we keep the leaders that will come in government accountable. Because if we do not do that, we have been talking about the regime of the past regime and explain everything that was all the maltreatments that have gone through, and it is really a debate right now. If you want to avoid those kind of situations, we must put this to a stop, so that any other leader that is coming outside and any other leader that wants to be a president or whatsoever, you will know very well that these Gambian people are not mad. If I don't do what is expected of me, they will kick me out, and that's what really calls for democracy. Speaker of the House, my next point is peace and stability. Peace and stability is what leads to this situation. If suppose we do not have peace and stability, we don't have been here here and talking about what not. And we have seen so many countries that as a result of the failure of democracy and peace and stability, how they are ruined to. They will go up to a stateless state, and everything will just messed up. And in the Gambia, to tell you, Mr. Speaker of the House, we have 60% of insecurity. And to give you a vivid example, when I was coming from Charles Palasa 6:45 a.m., I was coming and everything was done. I have my boyfriends, they went before I did, and I was the last one to sweep the office, and everything went done. When I was walking, the boy was closely following my steps. Then I felt the situation at all. Then I stopped, and the boy just rushed into me and stripped off my veil. I wanted to take my mobile. So at the time I wanted to shout, the boy ran. And these are perpetually examples that people explain all the time. People are robbed everywhere, which has never happened in the former regime. So what have you realized within the range of 3 years so far? So how, why, and how? So why shouldn't President Araboro agree to the 3 years agreement? So Speaker of the House, in fact, it is not about honoring the agreement. It's not about stepping down officially. We don't say that. Come and agree to it. Either you give a referendum or you come and dialogue to the people. Tell them what their needs are, because it's the people that makes you. So Speaker of the House, not to set down my case, I have redirected the House that has been misdirected by the opposition leader, which was the legal agreement, saying that it is the same, the constitution that mandates President Barrow to stay for 5 years is the same constitution that gives him the will to resign anytime he wants to resign. And also, straighten the points of my Prime Minister, which was the NDP. The NDP, most of the provisions in the NDP are not met, and it shall never be met, because he is not a development-oriented president. He is a transitional-oriented president. Speaker of the House, and given my own points, there was accountability, talking about accountability, that we need to keep our leaders accountable. My second point was peace and stability. As talked about, it's important that we put avert to any potential threat to our fragile peace right now. Speaker of the House, and that was all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister. We call on the Deputy Opposition Leader to respond to the case of the Deputy Prime Minister.
There is lots of holibalism in the glass cup of an attire, and I believe man should not swallow his cup for the fear of speaking the truth. Speaker of the House, members of the government opposition bench, panel of judges, ladies and gentlemen, of course, my fellow students, good afternoon to you all. Well, I am Yama M. Gomez, representing St. Joseph Senior Secondary School, and in my capacity as the Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker, please allow me to lay down my debate structure first. I will start by strengthening the points of my opposition leader, make rebuttals on the points of the Deputy Prime Minister, give 2 points why I strongly stand for the motion, why I strongly oppose the motion that President Barrow should not honor the 3 years agreement, but rather rule for 5 years, summarize, then conclude. Mr. Speaker, the opposition leader came here and talked about it will undermine development agenda of President Barrow's government, which I strongly support. Because, Mr. Speaker, during the former regime, that was during President Jammeh's regime, there was no strict separation of powers and checks and balances. So if we remove Barrow within the 3 years, he is coming up with us, and he is yet to complete his reform project. The appointed president, that is the VP, who President Barrow will appoint to rule when he is removed into office, that is the 3 years protest that these people are making for, that person may not continue the reform that Barrow has started, and that will undermine the reform and development which President Barrow started, which is not good for the economy and development of the country. And the opposition leader also made mention of economic reason. Mr. Speaker, the agreement which have now become a political issue, it will totally affect our economy. Because a very good example, it will also undermine tourism. Because, Mr. Speaker, according to the World Bank research, 20% of the Gambian economy is based on tourism. So if the people who are advocating for 3 years, that President Barrow should leave office within 3 years, and they give him till 19th of January that they should come out and make a protest. That is the time I watched it on news last week, 8 o'clock, that if President Barrow does not come out, they want he himself to come out and talk to them. If he does not come out, then they will have to force themselves into the State House. And it will make tourists not to come to the Gambia. And Mr. Speaker, one of the reasons why the Gambia has the largest amount of tourism every year is because it is known for its peace and stability. So these people that are advocating for the 3 years, Jodna, if they are trying to make it a very hard protest, then it will make tourists to run away from the country and not to come back. And now to make rebuttals on the points of the Deputy Prime Minister. The Deputy Prime Minister came here and made mention of the voice of the people. It is similar like the power of the people that stand. My question is, talking about the voice of the people, how many people came out to protest? You don't know. Mr. Speaker, according to the Fatu Network report, about 15,000 people came out to report. And Mr. Speaker, according to the Gambia Bureau of Statistics, the Gambian population is about 2 million. So now, who are the people here? Is it the majority, the 1.5 million that stayed at home, including myself, wishing for President Barrow to continue his 5 years mandate, or the 15,000 that went out to protest? And she also came here and made mention of peace and stability. You are contradicting yourself because during your presentation, you made mention why should we agree to the 3 years agreement. Why should President Barrow agree to the 3 years agreement? That is why, as a responsible opposition, we are strongly opposing it. You see, every day you can come out making protests because it is your right to make peaceful protests. And as a responsible opposition, we will not oppose that. But you should also remember that it is the right of President Barrow to rule for 5 years. Remember, where your right stop to make a peaceful protest is where President Barrow's right begin to rule for 5 years. Mr. Speaker, now to my points. My first point is, come up with your POI. My first point is, it gives room for unelected officials to rule, which is undemocratic. Mr. Speaker, in section 65 of the 1997 Constitution, subsection 2, states that whenever the office of the president becomes vacant in the circumstances such as death or resignation, the vice president takes up responsibility. Hence, if President Barrow honors the 3 years agreement, he will just give room for unelected officials to rule. That is the vice president. And if the vice president is not there, the Speaker of the National Assembly will take up responsibility. Mr. Speaker, I believe that those advocating for the 3 years jotna are politically bankrupt. Because if President Barrow desires today, he can appoint his wife, his son, or any member of his family whether competent or non-competent, to continue within the 2 years. And remember, an appointed person that is to be the president to run the day-to-day affairs of the state is not responsible to the Constitution, but it's answerable to President Barrow himself, therefore leading to dictatorship. And we have already suffered 22 years of dictatorship, and now that we have finally gotten our democracy, we do not want to lose it. My audience, wouldn't that cause more harm than good? I also believe it will. Therefore, I strongly encourage that President Barrow continue his mandate as enshrined in our Constitution, than stepping down just to give room for an elected government official to rule, which is totally undemocratic, and as a responsible opposition, we will not go in for such. Mr. Speaker, my second point is the agreement was inconsistent with the laws of the land. Mr. Speaker, in Chapter 2, Section 4 of the 1997 Constitution, which states that the Constitution is the supreme law of the Gambia, and any other law found to be inconsistent with any provision of the Constitution shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be void. Now to bring it down to your level, because you are confused. That is, any agreement or law that is in contradiction with the 1997 Constitution, the one that we voted in a referendum, the election should be made after every 5 years, which all of us seated in this room as Gambians have been using since 1997 up till date. That is the 3 years agreement you people are trying to legalize, is contradicting to the Constitution of the Gambia. So therefore it is considered null and void, and the agreement is considered null and void because it is in contradiction with the Constitution, which is the 5 years term. Mr. Speaker, in summary, I would like to remind you of what I said. I started my debate by strengthening the points of the opposition leader, which was it undermined development agenda of President Barrow's government, and also economic factors, and I gave tourism as an example. I made rebuttals on the points of the Deputy Prime Minister. I gave 2 points of mine, which was it gives room for unelected officials to rule, which is undemocratic, and the agreement was inconsistent with the laws of the land. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I am of the conviction that the points raised have convinced this House that President Barrow should not honor the 3 years agreement, but rather rule for 5 years because it is his constitutional mandate. And now, I think I've done justice to my case. Thank you.
We thank the Deputy Opposition Leader, and that ends the first half of the debate. We now move to the second half of the debate, and it would be started by the Member of Government. Member of Government, you are invited on stage. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker and the panel, good day to you all. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. In my capacity as the government member, the following is the structure of my debate. First, I would like to put light or correct the wrongs that have been put forward by the members of the opposition bench. Then I will strengthen the points of my beautiful points of my government members. And I would like to give you reasons why I believe I and my bench members believe why I and my government members believe President Barrow should why I and my government members believe President Barrow should agree. Why I and my government members believe President Barrow should honor the 2 years agreement. Mr. Speaker, first moving down to the rebuttals, the first speaker made mention that who is the opposition leader did made mention that the day that they were doing the protest, students were not going to school. I want to make you believe that a student from St. Augustine Senior Secondary School and some schools that are in the Greater Banjul area had school the very day that the protest was going on, which was on the 16th of December 2019 on Monday. Personally, our school, we were having exams that day, and students were ought to go to school because they had nothing to do with the protest. And then she also went further by making mention that she made mention that the economy with the protest, the economy of the country will be low. I believe that the protest has nothing to do with the economy of the country because these people that are protesting are going far away from the economy of the country. Maybe the people that do not want to go for job, but I want to make you believe that that day itself, people were going for job, and then most of the people that are engaged in business were operating their business smoothly and finely. So the protests do not have to do with anything that have to, like the agreement do not have to do with people who are in their business career. Mr. Speaker, moving down to my points, moving down to the strengthening, I would like to strengthen the alternative that was given by the government member. The alternative that was given by the government member. He made mention that President Barrow should apologize. Yes, I believe that if he, according to the Constitution, it is said that a president is supposed to, a president have a mandate for 5 years, and I believe that if that happens, even if the Constitution is saying 5 years, I believe that even if he wants to sit for 5 years, not for the 3 years, he can come to the public. He is the one who said it, and then he have all the rights to come back to the public again and say to them and apologize to them because of what he did, which was wrong, instead of contradicting himself. And then moving down to my points. Number one, which is cognitive dissonance. Mr. Speaker, President Barrow stepping down should be something practical due to the fact that it was an agreement. An agreement should be fulfilled. Also, it will lead to the higher crime rates. It will lead to high crime rates, provided that people want to bring him down forcefully. Yes, if he do not want people to, if he wants to go by if he want to go by his words, let him step down. Or if not, people, Gambians, most of us abusing laws. Most of the people are going to protest if they want to remove him forcefully. There are going to be damage of life. There are going to be damage of properties and loss of lives. So the easiest thing is that let him come out to the public and apologize to them due to what he said, and then he can also we are human beings, and then the public can also understand him. My second point, which is moral disobedience. According to our constitution, an elected president have the minimum mandate of 5 years. The president can call in for election at any time, but he or she, yes.
What is more moral than what the whole voted in a referendum that is in our 1997 constitution? What is more moral than that?
Morality in the sense I'm talking of is he disobeyed, like he disobeyed his, like he go against his words, because at the end of the day, he did not even know what he was, whether he was going astray or not. Morality in the sense that he did not know what he was like communicating to the public about. He did not stick to his words as a good leader, and then dishonesty was something that he also was into. Moving down to my points, therefore, the law is very clear on the issue of memorandum of understanding, agreed by the coalition members, become a moral document, not a legally binding one. Morally, President Barrow should honor his words and stick to the three years transition, but he is not legally obliged to do so. Yes, morally he did not stick to his words when it comes to morals and also honesty. He is a very dishonest. In this case, I term him as a very dishonest leader, because he was not going according to what he said to the people. And then that is, as a leader, you should have these qualities. You should have these good qualities in you, that whatever thing you do, you make sure by all means you are honest, and then there is this quality of integrity that is always in you, in guiding you in doing what you are doing. Mr. Speaker, after 22 years of brutal dictatorship, the last thing Gambians needs is civil disobedience and a potential for conflict. Gambians' pre-occasion should be the creation of jobs and then the building of strong government. Yes, gone were the days when we were threatened by the gun, and I believe that this is because of the brutal dictatorship. And the last thing that the Gambia should think about is conflict right now. All we should try to think about is the building of good morals and also good leaderships and also building of good government institutions. Mr. Speaker, according to a study conducted on the 22nd November 2019, this was reported by Mustafa Jallo on the Fourier newspaper. Reads, President Barrow has promised to set up 24 hours electricity for the most places in the Gambia, places like Farafenni and other communities in the North Bank regions. And they are still waiting. So these were promises that he made people. He made people understand that he is going to make sure by all means he provide their basic amenities for them. And these are people that are still waiting. And then the most important thing, the saddest thing is that he have been making promises for over a long period, for months. He have been making promises, and then these promises are things that he's never fulfilled as a president. And then he's not only going to stop. He went further on the 22nd on July. No, I thank you.
Thank government member, and we now invite the opposition member to respond to the case of the government bench.
Should I start? A very pleasant day today, Speaker of the House, members of the adjudicating bench, members of the opposition bench, members of the government bench, and all other parliamentarians here present. In my capacity as the opposition whip, allow me, Mr. Speaker, to tell you the structure of my debate. I'm here to oppose the motion which states this House believes that President Barrow should honor the 3 years agreement. And from then, I will strengthen a point made by the opposition. I will rebut the points made by the government bench, and then introduce my points and summarize and then conclude. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister came here, and then I was able to hear a statement he said about Barrow spending millions of dollars in order to provide food for the Gambian people. And he was like, that is a waste of money. I want to ask him this question. How can we work? How can we deliver up to expectation when we have our people starving to death? You might be able to provide for yourself, but there are still poor people that you need to acknowledge who cannot provide food for themselves. The Deputy Prime Minister came here and she was like, the human beings fluctuate, that you might want a red t-shirt today, and the next day you might want a blue t-shirt. That is who Adama Barrow is. He is also a human being. He can make a decision today, and the next day he can also change his decisions. And then she also talked about there are high crime rates in this country that has never happened before. I don't know if she's aware that in the First Republic, that was under President Jawara's regime, who is now late, peace be upon him, that there were also high crime rates in this country. It was only in the second regime, in the Second Republic, that we had a dictator who nobody dared to go against him, because we know he's an army. Whenever you do a crime, he's there. You kill, he kills you. So, Mr. Speaker, I would also like to repeat the point made by the government member when he said, this 16 December protest, 3 years Jotna, it did not cause fear in students because students in Banjul went to school on that day. But then, I don't know for them, but then in our school, we did not have school that day because the principal was so fearful that if she was scared that if students like us come to school, she cannot take care if anything happens because they were starting from our school junction. Mr. Speaker, to strengthen the point made by the opposing opposition, she talked about the Constitution. Yes, the Constitution provided that according to Section 63, subsection 1, it states that the term of office of an elected president shall, subject to subsection 3 and 6, be for a term of 5 years, and the person elected president shall, before assuming office, take the prescribed oath. President Barrow took an oath, yes. He made a promise. Your moms make promises, yes. And then our moms come, they don't fulfill that promise. But we tell them that you don't fulfill the promise you made to me, you are no more my mother. Yeah? Do we say that? That is why President Barrow, he's also a president. He takes a decision, he goes against that decision. Why should we come when we don't do that to other people? So he took an oath, which he says that he was going to rule according to dictates of the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. So if he says that, what can be more? What can be more than an oath? A promise and an oath cannot even be in the same space, right? You can only uphold to an oath. And she also talked about public opinion. That is the Deputy Prime Minister. She talked about public opinion. Yes, we have people who are against President Barrow staying for 5 years, and we have people saying people who are in support of President Barrow being for 5 years, in which I am among. So who knows who are the majority here? Barrow, there are some people against him. There are also people supporting him. So in a way, he's still respecting public opinion. So at this juncture, I would like to take a POI.
You talked about the people who support it and the people who don't support it. Tell me the percentage of the population that is supporting him and the percentage that is not supporting him.
The percentage of people supporting Arabo, according to the Gambia Bureau of Statistics, states that there are about 55% of people supporting him. And at this juncture, I would like to introduce my points, which says, I don't know why people are so ungrateful. We have Barrow. Since his inception, he has been doing projects for this country. He talked about the projects he's doing right now. It includes plans to construct 20 new roads to improve connectivity in the Cardiff Municipal Council and the West Coast region. So why are we still ungrateful? Because I am a witness. I have seen the roads that he has started to construct, which includes the Carnifing Hospital, to the Battle Hardin Highway, to the Estate Road, which is now in progress, because whenever we close our school, it's beside our school, we see them walking. So how can you just disregard all of these things he has been doing for this country? He is also planning to construct a road from Kotu to Naweklik, Sukuta to Latrikunda Sabiji, Bundung Highway, Kololu Senegambia Road, to Sancheba Tuba. We also have, during his tour, this 2019 tour, when he went to Nyomi, he said that there are funds provided by the African Development Bank for the construction of 25 and 60 boreholes for the country that is going to provide water supply to about 85,000 people in this country. How is that not a development in this country? We also talked about the national development plan. Since his inception as the president, Barrow has provided electricity in Brikama, to Bakari, Sambaya, Gunjur, and Kiti village. Because statistics have shown that because of this poor wiring in these areas, which I have mentioned, there have been fire outbreaks. But when Barrow became the president, he was able to regulate this issue. He was able to regulate this problem. Another problem is, if Barrow is to honor this 3 years journey, there's going to be a political instability, because we all witnessed the Yahya Jammeh's regime, the political impasse in 2016 when he refused to step down. Because Adama Barrow also changed his decision that that he's not going to step down, and people are still forcing him to step down, it can cause political instability. And we all know how that is because most of us flee to neighboring countries. And also, according to the MOU that was written, it says that Adama Barrow should, the president is going to step down, but according to his own accord, he's not going to be forced to step down. So why should he be forced to step down? That is going to be unlawful. And also, according to the Constitution, protest is legal. But protest that is going to force a president to step down is illegal. At this juncture, I think I have done justice to my topic by strengthening the points made by the opposing opposition, also rebuting the points made by the government bench, and also introducing my points, which has to do with national development plan, political instability, and so on. At this juncture, I thank you for listening.
We thank the opposition member, and we call on the final speaker from the government bench to summarize the case of the government.
Speaker of the House, panel of adjudicators, and all respective personnel present here today, I greet you all. Mr. Speaker of the House, please allow me to lay down the structure of my debate, which is that I will discredit the exaggerated claims made by my opponents here, fortify the wonderful points made by my bench, strengthen them powerfully, and then take a POI if there is any, summarize, and in my summary, I will conclude. Now go to the rebuttals. The opposition leader made mention of 5 years, talking the Constitution saying of 5 years. Of course, the Constitution said 5 years, but there is something we need to know about this Constitution too. It says 5 years. Where is the morality when Barrow was saying 3 years when he knows that the Constitution is talking about 5 years? Because we know a leader should have moral, and moral is what makes a leader. So if you don't have the morals, then you cannot call yourself a leader. So next time, he should make sure he have the moral and go according to the Constitution before saying 3 years. The second point that the opposition leader made mention is talking about the economics. Yes, for the economic is maintained and we improve. He said, so for that to be improved, Barrow should continue for the 5 years. No. We want peace. Everything starts from the root. The 3 years is where we begin before 5 years. So if we want to go for 5 years, we should first start at 3 years. So if Barrow should step down at the 3 years, then there will be peace at the 3 years instead of going to the 5 years. So please, next time, find good evidence and concrete ones so that you're able to convince us and not to confuse us. Now going to the rebuttals again, the deputy opposition leader made mention that the speaker is the one, or the speaker of the parliament, or the vice president is the one to take charge of the president's seat if he is removed from power. Who else will be the one to take charge if he is not removed? Yes, the president has no moral. The president, he don't have the integrity because he's not even truthful with the things he says. So we need past people that are truthful and have morals, like the vice president and also the speaker of the house, if there are no vice president to rule us. So please, next time, find more points. Going to still on the rebuttals, the opposition member made mention of the oath, saying that oath, but the Constitution says that President Barrow should be removed from power. That is Section 67A of the Gambian Constitution, saying that President Barrow, the president, should be removed out of power if there is violation of office. Meaning, if the thing he swore, he's not going according to it. So Barrow swore that he'll go for 3 years, and he's not going for 3 years, now he's going for 3 years. So the Constitution has the legal right to kick him out of office. He made mention of he made mention of the people that go to school on the 16th December 2019. Yes, if you don't have concrete evidence of the number of people that go to school, don't come and bring that as an evidence, okay? Because our school, we went to school and we were on examination. In fact, the schools in Greater Banyu area attended school that day because, in fact, yes, I'll take your POI and disgrace yourself.
You made mention that the Constitution stated that President Barrow should be after 3 years. Who made the Constitution?
The Constitution is made by the people, as you guys claim to be. Please, you ask the question. I'm trying to answer the question, so please sit down. Yes, of course. The Constitution is made by the people, and the Constitution is the supreme law of the country. So therefore, that same Constitution, as it is made by the people, Barrow should respect the views of the people and to respect the view of the constitutions. Now, still on the rebuttals, please, he made mention of national development. A proven reference has been made that Barrow said during his campaign that he will talk about whoever criticized his Barrow youth movement will be what? Those people will be dealt with. what? Criticism is also part of democracy. So if the people don't criticize, then what are the development of the people? What are our rights? If our rights are taken into the hands of the president, when we are the one to put him there. Please, I'm not taking any POI, so just sit down. Let me fill you on this call. Yes. So now we made mention of also, now let me go to the strengthening part of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister said national development plans, that is infrastructural development, which the president said during his time that he will develop the educational facilities, he will develop the road. In fact, he will develop most of the things that people need. But those are all just mere tactics that people don't even know. He is talking of things that is not even working. And by that, the Constitution also have the right, saying that he should be removed by vote of no confidence. That is talking about section 65, subsection 1 of the Constitution. The president can be ruled of vote of no confidence if he is ruling, the way he's ruling is not accordance with the way he said, and therefore the president, in fact, the president 3 years, we just give it to him to rule for 3 years. Now, we should have removed him long ago, but now he's saying he's going for 5 years. We will not allow that. We accept the 3 years when he should have been removed by vote of no confidence. We are still allowing him to go. Now he wants to go for 5 years. No, that's not possible. It's either he takes the 3 years or he will be removed by vote of no confidence. Please, I told you I'm not taking any POI, okay? Now, starting in part, the Deputy Prime Minister made mention of peace and stability. Of course. If we need peace and stability, let's just remove President Abraham Barrow from power right now so that we will have peace. Now going to the government member, he talked about moral disobedience. Moral disobedience. People should be morally integrated. People should have moral in them, then that's what makes a great leader. Because the Gambian constitution said the president should go for 5 years, according to section 63. But the same constitution, section 67A, said the president should be removed from power if in violation of office, that if he swore that he would do something at the oath, and Barrow swore on the 16th January 2017 at Senegal that he will go for 3 years, and now he's going against that. So then Barrow should be removed out of office. And that same constitution is talking about that same thing. So Barrow has no right to talk about that. Okay, go to the next point. What he made is that talking about the dictatorship. Yes. Before Barrow, there was 22 years of dictatorship. Now, people need a new system. People need development. And Barrow claimed that he will do development, that people in the province will have light, people in the province will be developed. But no. The opposition bench, my opposition bench said that they provide light in some places. Of course, they provide light. But those people are still complaining that the light is not stable. And therefore, President Barrow is embezzling the money, the fund that should be provided for those people to have the enough amount of light that they need. So therefore, that has nothing to do with the development that he did when you're embezzling. Talking about the violent protest. The first protest that was made on the 16th December was just a protest to remind Barrow that he said 3 years and he should remove. He was given a time that January 16, if he is not out, then the protest will be there. And that protest will lead to the destruction of many things. And most of our sisters too might also be fall a victim of that. They will be raped and other crises will be fallen upon them. He made mention of the cognitive disorders. That is, Barrow made the agreement that he will leave after 3 years. Agreements are agreement, and agreement should be fulfilled. So therefore, President Barrow should fulfill his agreement by leaving power by the 3 years, as he said. I rest my case.
We thank the government whip, and the final speaker of this debate, who is the opposition whip, is invited on stage to conclude this debate.
Honorable Speaker of the House, panel of judges, the opposition bench, the government bench, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. Honorable Speaker of the House, the topic of this debate is this House believes that President Barrow should honor the 3 years agreement, which the opposition bench is saying no to. First of all, Honorable Speaker of the House, I am going to lay down the structure of my debate. That is to review the points made by the government bench, strengthen the points made by the opposition bench, especially the opposition member, summarize, and then conclude. First of all, the the Prime Minister came here and made mention that the coalition was formed on October 26, which is wrong. It is not October 26, but October 27. So next time when giving references and dates, please give us the right dates and the right times which the events have taken place. And secondly too, you made mention if the TRRC is important or it has a benefit. Yes, the TRRC has a lot of impacts and benefits. That is one. A lot of things that have happened in the Gambia in the past have been revealed out by the TRRC. And secondly also, you made mention of him spending a lot of money on food, which we know that is true. Yes, he has been spending money on food, but he has also been mending the big holes left by the former president called Yahya Jammeh. The Deputy Prime Minister came here and said that she was the Deputy Prime Minister came here and said there are a lot of thieves in the country and one person wanted to steal her belongings. Who told you that in the former regime or in the first regime of being president in the Gambia, Sadawara Kairabas Jawara's regime and Yahya Jammeh, that there were no thieves in the country or there were no bad people in the country? Of course, no, they are. Anywhere that you go to, there are good people and at the same time, there are bad people at the same time. So my opponents, please know what to say next time. You also made mention of peace can only be achieved when Barrow accepts to step down. But first thing I want to tell you is that peace can only be achieved when you allow President Barrow to rule for 5 years, because the constitution of the Gambia is saying that a president should rule for 5 years. So when you ask him to step down, it's like you are forcing him. In coming to the government member, he was saying it was a peaceful demonstration. But to give you an example made by the opposition member, that was Gambia Methodist, which is very true. We did not have school on Monday, but it was shifted to Saturday for us to do our exams. So, Honorable Speaker of the House, he's saying crime rate. Crime rates could only be increased if you do not allow Barrow to continue his 5 years, but ask him to step down. Because in as much as there are people doing a peaceful demonstration, there are thieves also being carried out at the same time. A good example is Alpha Molo of Busumbala. When he went for this demonstration, thieves broke into his house and took his belongings, and also his shop was not that much good. The door of his shop was not that much good, and somebody came and stole his thing. But in as much as there is no POI accepted. Thank you very much. I am giving you an example. That is a man in Busumbala. He went for this protest, and in his house, he had a shop there, and thieves broke into his shop. If at all he was in that house at the same day, the thieves would have not come, or he would have seen the thieves in there. So, Honorable Speaker of the House, in strengthening the points made by the opposition member, that is the law. The Constitution of the Gambia is saying, Section 63, subsection 1, that elections should hold every 5 years, which is very true. But when the people were making decisions that it should be 3 years, did they consider the Constitution? Because the Constitution is the people, and the people is the Constitution. The fewer is in the big, and the bigger is nothing else but the Constitution. We made mention of conflicts or political instability. If people are not asked to stop what they are going to do up till January 19, it is going to cause political instability. An example is in 2016 when Jammeh lost and he said he was not going to step down. We all saw what happened. A woman called Fatou Mansari lost her child at the Banjul ferry when she was trying to cross. So if you are going to ask Barrow also to step down forcefully, there is also going to be another problem. People will start to run away from the country. So my fellow students, especially the grade 12s, do you want to run away from your country because of political instability? No, of course. And also please sit down. Another one too is the National Development Program, which he has been doing. That is very important because when we know that the capital city of the Gambia, known as Banjul, has 4 drainage facilities, which Barrow has, number 1, worked on. Now you go to Banjul, a lot of the Gambia High students will not face mosquitoes because the drainage facilities have been made proper. And secondly, too, you have a lot of students who suffer from malaria, or the citizens of Banjul suffer from malaria annual, and about 60% of the people suffer from malaria. And because if the stagnant water is there, mosquitoes will lay eggs on them, and it's going to infect the people. Who does not want to have a good health? Because health is wealth, and wealth also, you cannot have wealth without health. Secondly, too, is electricity. That is also a number one thing that we need to work on. Because in Brikama, we have these old wirings there, and the poles are all old. So in the market, we saw that in November 16, there was a big fire outbreak caused by these wires. And then from November 25th to December 10th, he made a project on making all the good poles and the wires to be perfectly good, in which now people can work on and have a lot of things. You talk about morality. In as much as there is a negative impact, there is a positive impact. When you talk about he did not mean his words or he did not stay to his words, he is staying to his words because he has a lot of achievements for the Gambian people, which he wants to fulfill. And 3 years is so short for him to complete that. He can only complete that when it is 5 years. So, Honorable Speaker of the House, I am going to summarize by telling you that I debunk the points made by the Prime Minister saying October 26. It's not October 26, but October 27. And also the Deputy Prime Minister saying a lot of thieves, and there are thieves all over and over. And even another president comes back again, there will be thieves. The government member made mention of a peaceful demonstration which other schools had fear, like my school. And in strengthening the points of the opposition leader, I made mention of the law, which is the number one thing. Drainage facilities in Banjul, that is true. And also, I talk about electricity. I talk about capital. And thank you for your kind attention.
We thank the final speaker. And so, since the debate has ended, we are going to move out of the hall to compile the results. We'll be back in about 10 minutes' time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A round of applause to all the debaters. Once again, you may take your seats in the crowd now. Thank you so much, and we'll give the judges a few minutes, say about 10 minutes or so, to deliberate and come back here to give us the results. Meanwhile, I would like to use this opportunity. So we'd like to use this opportunity to do the presentation of certificates. We have people here who we are going to certify for their immense role and contribution to the success of this championship. So I'd like to invite Mr. Alhaji Drame, who is supposed to be my co-host. Unfortunately, he left me to do the work alone here, but now he's here, and I'd like to invite him to take over and do the presentation of certificates.
You're still going to stay. I'm just going to assist.
Okay, so he's just going to assist, he said. The other mic is there. So we start with the students. And yeah, who is going to do the presentation of the certificates going to be delivered to the students?
Yes, thank you very much, Fatu Elike Muluchi. Of course, I know you have done wonderful here today in my absence here. We're now going to feature some presentation of certificates to the students that have participated to this 6 months project of GAM Africa Institute for Leadership. These are some of our deserving participants that were obviously working tirelessly with us, including the support of their teacher coordinators and their school principals. So, Madam Fatou Moluka Eluche, we can start with the students.
Sure. So we do this as quickly as possible, please. When we call you, come on stage. To have someone. Okay. So do we have Mr. Jagan Bahum here to please do us the honor of presenting these certificates? So first.
Can we please have Fatou Jom on stage?
Yes, please. Quickly ask, is a friend here to get on behalf?
Who is here can come on her behalf.
Okay, fine.
Okay. We have Ramatullah Gassama. A whole lot. Sally Conte. Maria Mafati. Let's give them a round of applause. Mariama Fati is not here, but I think the teacher coordinator is receiving on her behalf. We have Ami Sohna. You have Khadija C. Sawane. She's not here? Okay. You have Bintu Hydra. Where is Bintu? If Bintu is not here, can we have the teacher coordinator? He's coming. Jena Bajouf. Ami Fall. Fatou Koulibaly. Kadi Fati. Do we have Kadi? Okay, the teacher coordinator is coming. Ami Kole Jobate. Ato Bonogwe. You have Ibrahim Dembajang. Maimuna Sise. Maimuna Sise, the teacher coordinator. Can we have a friend to receive on her behalf? Our Bojang, the teacher coordinator. Okay, we can. Can someone receive on her behalf?
Yeah, just take it.
Hadi Ture. Fatima Gomez. Fatima Gomez. Yama M. Gomez. You have Bintu Dambeli, the teacher coordinator. Can we have someone to receive on her behalf? Nyara Nyang. Nyara. Okay, the teacher coordinator is coming. Aissatou Conte. Aissatou Conte. We have Conte written. Okay, then we can do that, Edison. Can we have Ibrahim S. Kamara? London Silla. London Silla. Yeah. Christopher Mendy. Alpha Mane. Abdullah Sedikan. Amadou Diallo. Suleiman Tunkara, Mohammed Bah, Odysseus. And where is Suleiman Tunkara? Okay. All right. Mamadou Diba. Abdullah Cham. Yeah. Honorable, thank you so much. You can retire and we call the next person. Oh, you didn't have the picture. Modu. Right.
Thank you so much.
This is for the teachers. Teacher code. We need somebody. Certificate. Oh, Oli. She might come back for that as well. Okay.
You're going to teach us?
Yeah, teachers. All right. You do it?
Go ahead.
All right. We want to invite Madam Oledibe to come and present this certificate on behalf of the teacher coordinators. Martin Jonah. Jonah. Madam, thank you. Usman E. Kamara. Or should I say Mr. Kamara, because that's the household name for teachers. Okay. Usman F. Mboob. Mr. Mboob. Okay, I think the student is coming. Paul F. Mendy. Mr. Mendy, Baramaka. Thank you. You have Lamin Cham. Mr. Cham? Mr. Cham, is there any student here? Okay. Mamadou S. Jallo. Modu Naban. Alhaji Seydou Jallo. Mr. Jallo. Lamin Cissé. Omar Diouf. Mamadou Aliou Diallo. Oh, Omar Diouf is not here. Mamadou Aliou Diallo. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. It's schools again. Oh, Lord. Is this the students? Mamadou Aliou Diallo. No Aliou. Oh, Modu, yeah. Yeah.
So she still stays and gives.
Yeah. Now to the schools. Can we please St. Augustine Senior Secondary School? Can we have a representative from St. Augustine Senior Secondary School? This certificate is awarded to the schools. Okay. For their participation on 6 months GAM Africa Institute for Leadership Debate Championship. I now invite ML Modi ML Fati to come and present this certificate on behalf of Gail to the schools that have participated on this project. St. Augustine Senior Secondary School, St. Joseph Senior Secondary School, Yunus English School, Scanet Senior Secondary School, Kairaba Senior Secondary School, Unity Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, Newsrat Senior Secondary School. Unity is not here. Okay. Gambia Senior Secondary School, Glory Baptist Senior Secondary School, Daddy Job Senior Secondary School, Caniping East Senior Secondary School, Caniping East Senior Secondary School. Yeah, he's coming out the back. Muslim Senior Secondary School, Charles Joe Memorial Academy, okay, that's Muslim. Gambia Methodist Academy, Mahat Senior Secondary School, Sukuta Senior Secondary School, Sukuta. Thank you so much, Modlamin. You can also retire. Sir? Donald's, okay.
No, we want to get a student to come and
to do his presentation.
Yeah, a student.
Voluntary.
Yeah.
Okay, we call anyone.
Someone, a student that has a
uniform. They all on their t-shirts.
Yeah. No.
What's his name?
No. Student.
Okay, call student. A student.
Which student?
Just call one student. Anybody, okay.
No.
It's Aisha. Sorry, sir. The certificate goes to Mrs. Oli Dibawada. A big round of applause, please. Madam Wada is the founder of GAM Africa Institute for Leadership. Obviously, she's the one behind all this project. With her board of directors and all the dedicated staff of Gail make this event possible today. Thank you so much, madam. Joe's design. Madam, if you know this boy, he's one of the young Gambian entrepreneurs who is doing a lot in graphics, and that is Usman. He is the proprietor of Joe's Design. You know, he's the one who makes these certificates. Thank you so much, Usman.
So,
yeah.
that's your design.
Yeah. Alpha Umar Jallo. Can we have Alpha Umar Jallo? He's also one of the upcoming photographer and of course a graphic. He has been doing a lot with Gail from the inception. Thank you so much, Alpha. Mudichi, you know Sita Joy Island?
I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing about Sita Joy.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Sita Joy Island is found in Colorado.
You like it?
Yeah, it's actually a very fascinating place.
Okay, maybe I should take some time off.
Yeah,
Go to Sita Joy.
indeed, yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much for the reception that you have accorded to us when we are there. Yeah? Omar Diba. Omar Diba, one of the most influential young person in the Gambia, who is also doing a lot in youth development. He has been with us for so long. Thank you so much, Mr. Diba. We appreciate your effort. Yeah.
Just to extend gratitude to every other person that has contributed in one way or the other to the success of the championship, especially you, the partners and the donors, who brought in your resources, your skills, your expertise, just to prepare these young people to be bold leaders. Thank you so much.
And again, Luchi, now we're going to award one of the dedicated staffs of GAM Africa Institute for Leadership. And I have the singular honor to invite the Vice President of Gail to come and award these certificates to these dedicated staffs of GAM Africa. And we start with who? Mariama Jobate. Is he around? Can we have Satan to receive this certificate on behalf of Mariam?
Is receiving.
Yes, but okay, we skip that one.
She's not here.
All right. Lamin S.J. Jame.
Miles.
Fondly called Miles. Where is he?
He's somewhere around.
He's our driver anyway.
Okay, we continue. We don't have time.
Oh, Miles is here.
Miles will not miss this. Don't worry.
Thank you so much, Miles. You have Ibrahim Sawane. Thank you so much, Mr. Sawane. And he's one of those who will tell us, no, this is not good. You have to put it in this way. It is like a continuous debate when you have programs. Thank you so much, Sawane.
Sawane's walk down the stairs.
Satan Dumbuya.
Where is Satan? Satan Dumbuya. A big round of applause to Satan Dumbuya. She's one of those powerful guys also at Gail who always said, yes, we can do this no matter how difficult it is. Thank you so much, Satan. Omar Kamara, Saibo, fondly called Saibo. He's not here. Okay. He's our entertainer anyway. We have Nano Kora. Nano Kora.
She's been busy preparing food for you guys, so.
She is a medical student. I think that's the reason why she's always concerned about the welfare of the participants. Food is ready, food is not. Our guys are like this place is like this. Anyway, Nano, thank you so much for that guidance in terms of the welfare of the participants. She's not here. Okay. A big round of applause to Nano. Thank you so much. Well, this other one goes to my humble self.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I was going to say, you people should have clapped for Nano, because when we had medical issues, especially at Sandele, she really did an excellent job, and it's good to have Nano around. Okay.
That's great. Nano is so selfless. And now to my humble co-host, this one goes to Mr. Alhaji Beats Rame. A round of applause for him. Perfect. And this one goes to Lamin Sawane.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sawane. Just to say a little about Sawane, he's like, we call him the Alcalo of Gail. Yeah, he wanted to be on instruction all the time, and then sometimes I call him a dictator anyway. Thank you so much, Sawane. Dauda Silva. Is Dauda here? A round of applause to Dauda.
I know why they are laughing and clapping so hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dauda has been entertaining you all. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the camp master.
He knows how to handle
Very
those
energetic,
things.
very energetic.
Yes,
yeah.
so
very
it's so
energetic.
much
Thank you
great
so much,
unity.
Dauda. We have Mariama Ture. She's also a nurse. So much concern about the participants' welfare. She's always talking about health issues, you know. This is not
But they are
safe, let's do
doctors.
this.
Doctors and nurses, they
Yeah.
like to do those kind of things.
Good to have them around.
Yes,
because they're really,
of course.
okay, we do the next person when she
Okay.
gets here.
Modulamin Fati.
She's here.
Oh, she's here, okay.
All right, everybody is waiting for Mariama Ture.
Modulamin Fati. Where's Modulamin Fati? Oh. Oh, one of our staff is currently studying in India who has a similar name with Modlamin Fati. Okay, yes. You can come and then receive on behalf of your Toma. Yes, that's good.
Okay.
And last, but not final anyway, Modu Jallo, the project manager of GAM Africa. Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Looks like you've been doing some great job.
Just to shed some light on Modi Jallo, is absolutely a dedicated staff, definitely. He has the patience and he has the will as well. Anytime you knock on his door, he's always there for you. But currently, he has secured a job as the personal assistant to the managing director of Guaranty Trust Bank. So congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
And notwithstanding, he is versatile to divide himself in terms of service. Still, 50% is with Gail and 50% is at the bank. So thank you so much, Modi Jallo.
Okay.
We love your flexibility. Yeah, it's finished now.
Okay, so we have these ones for our able judges, and we start with this one.
Mariama Damso. They keep following us wherever we go. Even we go to the bus, these people are with us. Thank you so much for your hard work. Even though we are missing some faces like Alpha Kelo, he's not here. Currently, I think he's in Rabat. He's attending a conference. Fatoumata A. Kamara, a very influential young lady who is absolutely doing great work in the Gambia.
Lady AC, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. Thank you so much, AC. Boubacar Trawale.
Einstein. Did you see him with his glasses? He's called Einstein. Do you guys know Einstein? Ah, good, Albert. There you go.
Thank you.
And to the chief judge,
Mustafa Kar, the chief adjudicate.
who happens to be the chief adjudicator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kar. And how is work at TRRC? Thank you so much, Mr. Kar.
I think those are the
Yeah,
certificates.
those are the certificates.
Thank you so much. Yes.
You want to talk before we give this, or we give this, then you talk before we give the final prize?
The final prizes will come.
No, before the final.
There's
They see. Yeah, so, sure. Yeah. Okay, so I've been informed that before we give the judges the honor to give the feedback, we invite the student speaker to give the vote of thanks. And who would that be? Hadi. A round of applause for Hadi as she comes to give us the vote of thanks shortly.
Okay, good afternoon, members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen. I greet you all. I extend my heartfelt greetings to all those in attendance to come and grace this auspicious event today. First of all, my name is Hari Toure, a student from Carnifin A Senior Secondary School. I would also like to thank the leadership of Gail for their immense contribution to the success of this event. Well, first, my honorable thanks goes to the president of Gail, GAM Africa Institute for Leadership, for creating such a wonderful platform for young people to showcase their potential. Gail has not just prepared us for the future, but also contribute positively in our lives by providing motivational sections which enlightened and inspired us. Most importantly, Gail has broken the culture of silence and built up our confidence to be able to speak and inspire our younger brothers coming up. I quote from the Vice President, Mr. Wada, who always said, believe in yourself and succeed. If you always spend time focusing on what you don't have, you will always appreciate what you do. If you always spend time on focusing what you don't have, you will never appreciate what you have. Key to happiness is to appreciate what you have. This powerful word of his is a tool of motivation for young people, especially the participants of Gail Debate Championship 2019. My special thanks goes to Mr. Wada, the Vice President of Gail, for creating such an opportunity for young people to be able to contribute immensely in nation peace building, and most importantly, to take part in national development as productive citizens of this beloved country. I would also like to give thanks to the staff of Gail for always being committed on their work and show their love and care since at the beginning. But justice will not serve if I don't give a special thanks to the program manager, Modu Jalo, for always being responsible and making sure that all work is done on time. My special thanks also goes to the participants for being so cooperative and showing an excellent participation in this important academic drill. I hope our experience in this short interaction will serve as a strong encouragement to build our confidence in the pursuit of success. In conclusion, I pray for Gail to keep on developing so that many more youths will continue to benefit from their good initiative, because I know the agenda of this institution is to explore the potential of young people coming up. So I said, long live Gail, long live the Gambia. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Woo, woo. A round of applause for her one more time again, please. That was a great way to close this, and thank you so much for that brilliant vote of thanks. Well done. And now I have the honor of inviting the chief adjudicator for today's competition to give us the feedback of the general competition. And I'm sure you've been with them throughout the 6 months. And today is the finale. Tell us, how has the feeling been like, and what is the feedback?
Yeah, thank you, and it's a pleasure once again to take onto the podium to give you a feedback of how we felt the debate went. Now, this is an important part of the debate because we are given a very difficult task, which is to decide the team that won the debate. So it's important we tell you how we came to that. Sorry about that. So it's important we tell you how we came to that conclusion. As you know, the debate has rules and regulations, and our judgment was based on those rules and regulations. So the first thing that I want to talk about as part of the feedback is the importance of rebuttals in debate. Rebuttals means trying to counter the arguments of your opposition. So if you debate and you don't counter the arguments of your opposition, of your opponent, then you cannot win the debate, because it's not just about what you say, but it's about how you counter what they say. Because if you don't counter what they say, those points stand out. And our role as judges is not to put ourselves in the debate. We just decide who wins or who doesn't win. So much so that even if a factual mistake happens in the debate, it's not our duty to correct it unless the participants themselves correct it. That's the style of debate that we had. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we have what we call points of information, and there's a reason why we have those points of information. So that, for instance, you see how the order of the debate is, right? You have the four speakers, and normally when you speak, you are not allowed to come back to speak. So the only way you can come back to speak is through a point of information. So it should be utilized. Unfortunately, speakers didn't take point of information. Some speakers didn't take point of information. So that means that you don't have confidence in what you are saying. If you have confidence in what you are saying and you know what you are saying, you should be able to take points of information so that it shows that you know what you are talking about. That's the second thing. And, you know, the debate was good by all accounts, but one of the problems that we had was the standard of proof. You have to understand how to argue. You know, it's good you have a list of your arguments, but it's also important to know when to bring your arguments. You have to put your arguments in order of importance. You know, some arguments are so important that you have to bring them in the first part of the debate, and some have to come last. But these are things we cannot tell you. It's short. So, but let me move. But it's important that you know when to bring the arguments and the standard of proof of your argument. You know, you don't just argue and win the argument. You have to bring a standard of argument. You have to bring about evidence. You have to articulate yourself well to be able to stand out in the debate. The other thing that we saw, which is in fact very deadly in debating, once you do it, you come out last in the debating, is the issue of softing. Softing is when you contradict your teammate or your bench. If your teammates say we should go for Barrow to step down he should respect the 3 years agreement, and you say he should respect the 5 years agreement. That's softing. You should not do that because you are supposed to work as team, and it happened here. And the timing is important too. Before we start, as he told you how he's going to do the timing, unfortunately it was missed. So you have 7 minutes. First 1 minute is called protected time because this debate is very intense. If you don't protect that time, there could be disruptions, and that's why that part of the speech is protected. And then this 6 minute, which is 1 minute to the end of the debate, is also protected for the same reason. So, but when she clapped, I think some speakers misinterpreted that, and they thought what she was saying was that the time was over. That wasn't the case, right? And the issue, and this is why, in fact, Nusrat came out. Let me just, okay. I should not say that. But it's important I tell you why one team came out. There's what we call the issue of the model. The model is, how is President Barrow going to step down? If you say President Barrow should step down in the 3 years, you have to tell us how he's going to step down. You don't just say President Barrow should step down. It's your role as a debater to tell us how President Barrow should step down. And so, if you say President Barrow should step down through a referendum, or through honoring the MOU, or through the Constitution, you have to tell us. And so if that is brought out, as we say, it's the responsibility of the opposition to counter that. We don't interfere in the debate as judges. Our role is to what? Is to judge. All right? So it's your duty as debaters to actually do the work. All we do is just rank you based on what you give us as judges. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chief Adjudicator. I hope those points are well noted. So this time might be a little bit late, but next time you take note of those. Thank you so much. Now at this juncture, well, this is a moment we've been all waiting for. The results are in, but I've just first of all announced these ones I have. But before I go into, yeah. Perfect. So, because this is a competition with a difference, we're going to award all the finalists of today's championship. So, for that reason, I'd like to call you. I believe I have your names here before I go into the other details of who the winner is and the like. So, I'll start with Nusrat. We have a book we are going to give you that has been authored and signed by Madam Oli Diba. So you're going to have that, and we're also going to give you an exercise book and a pen, a stilo. So, Nusrat Senior Secondary School, Ami Sohna, would you kindly join me on stage to receive this present from the entire Gail team. Yes, and we have Madam Uli, who is going to do us the honor of the presentation. Yes, kindly come this way, please. Sorry? Yeah, sure. Ami Sohna there. Yes, and Abdullahi Cham also from Newsred. Could you kindly join us on stage this way, yes, so that the photographer can really get that clearly. Right? And we also have Abdullahi Cham. Abdullahi, there you go. And we have St. Joseph's. St. Joseph, we have Ramatulai Gassama. Kindly come on stage, please. Ramatulai Gassama and Yama Gomez, all from St. Joseph Senior Secondary School. Congratulations. Congratulations. Well done, well done. You are all winners once again. And that is Yama Gomez. There you go. And also we have Methodist Academy. Methodist Academy is represented by Ami Fall and Fatima Gomez. Are you all here? Please join us on stage to receive your presents. Well done. Congratulations once again. Great job. Great job. Right. Fatima, moom mooy xam nga lu gaata bu saf ndaw waay xolal boole ko graw loolu la def xale bi dafa graw. Congratulations, Fatima. And St. Augustine's there, very well represented by Ibrahima and Arthur. Come on stage, please, to receive your presents. Right. Once again, the gentlemen, come on stage to receive your presents. Congratulations. Job well done, job well done. Great. Congratulations to all of you. And for me, I mean, this is like the moment, the climax of every competition, and it gets me always excited. I don't know about you, but before I do anything, yeah, the chief judge, yeah, but for this particular one, I am doing the honor of presenting the winners of the competition. Oh, judges, you want to officially hand over the list, and we'll also call on the chief judge to come on stage and do us the honor of presenting these individual prizes. But can you guys guess who the best speaker is? Say it loud, please. Who is the best speaker? Why do you think it's Yama Gomez? Oh, wow. Who is Yama Gomez? Oh, okay, that's Yama Gomez. Well, I don't know, so it might be Yama or not, but do we have the, chief adjudicator to come on stage, please, and do us the honor of presenting to this particular person who happens to be, yes, please join me here on this side.
I just want her to do, because he just wants to give one remark, few remarks.
Okay, sure.
Why he's the best. It's important we tell people why he came out.
Okay, so maybe I would do that once I call the person on stage. Oh, you want to do it now? Yeah. Okay, before. Go ahead.
Just a quick one. So when the debate started, the assessment has been from the onset, because trying to determine who the best speaker is not only during the finale, it has to be from the onset. Now, as judges, we have taken note of this particular person who has been consistently excellent in the debate from the onset, from the first round up to the finale, and who has actually observed most of the rules that every professional and champion debater needs to observe. And from us, the judges, we're just encouraging this person to keep up the good work, and that the future of debate is very bright for her. And yeah, you can just announce the person. Okay, so the winner of the best speaker for the Gail Debate Championship from the first round to the finale goes to Miss Yama Gomez.
Emotional now. Great. Congratulations, Miss Yama Gomez. Oh yeah, she's got a power bank and some little goodies in there. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Yama. And now, yes, we have the... And now to the most promising speaker.
Yes. So we also have the award for the most promising debater. When we say promising, it means that this particular debater needs to work on one or two things for her to be a champion like Yama as well. And it's very, very important that as debaters, to me, I think debate is it's a continuous learning process. As you continue to go, you tend to learn more and you tend to adjust yourself. So as this person continues to debate, we are very hopeful that the person can also rise to be a champion debater. And this prize goes to Ms. Hadija Tusisawane.
A round of applause for Ms. Hadija Tusisawane. Good job. Congratulations once again. Great job. It's good that the judges were with you guys throughout this competition, so they know the potential of each and every one of you. Great job. And now we move on to the best teacher. Tell us how this was selected.
So yeah, I think the organizers are in a better position to talk about the selection for the best teacher. But basically, from my perspective, I think the best teacher is selected based on the teacher who's been very, very supportive, who's constantly been around, who's been guiding the students and the entire team as to how to go about the debate and everything. And I think the prize for the best teacher is very deserving. As adjudicators, we've been around from the onset, and we know, you want me to present
And who do you think is the best teacher, guys? Mr.? Who else? Mr. Manny, Mr. Kamara, Mr. Joe. Oh, Mob. Okay, so there we go for the best teacher. The prize goes to, let me read the full, okay. So this is the best teacher coordinator, and I have here Mr. Jallo. Round of applause for me. Oh yeah, good job, yes, yes, yes. I see him around on the stage every time and then. Very well deserved, congratulations. Great job, Mr. Jallo. And I understand why they refer to you as Mr. Jallo. It's because we call our teachers Mr. So that's understandable. Great job. Thank you so much. Okay, and we also have. Okay. All right, so we have the most supportive participant also. The team is also awarding the most supportive participant. Who deserves that? Why Alpha? He's kind. Okay, it looks like this is a very well-made choice. And from what I've seen and from what I have, Mr. Alpha Mane is the best participant. Congratulations once again. All right, so that being said, first of all, give every other person a round of applause, everyone that has received an award here. It's not easy to be outstanding. So if you are outstanding, that means a lot and it speaks volume. So I want you guys to just keep up the great work. And now we've reached a point where we've been all waiting for. First of all, who do you think, which school do you think deserves to win? So it looks like St. Joseph's came with so much power today. I know for sure the Newsatarians like to come on board and support, but it looks like I'm not hearing you talk today. I'm not hearing you shout. Because why? Why St. Joseph's? You deserve it. Okay, I'll pass on to the judges to do the honor of, yes, presenting who the winners are. But before that.
Before you announce that, let me just say what the prizes are. Each finalist gets a tablet. Okay? Then we have for the winning school a shield that the school can keep for 1 year. And then we have 2 shields for the winners and gold medals for the winners and 2 phones for the winners, Android phones.
Whoa. You guys are fancy.
Okay, second place gets a tablet and a silver medal. Third place gets a tablet and second place also gets a gold medal because it's four teams. So first and second have gold medals, third gets a silver medal, and fourth gets a bronze medal. But all finalists get a tablet.
Oh,
yeah. And we look forward to you guys utilizing it towards your schooling and improving your knowledge, not to play games like I usually do with my tablet. Okay, so we'll let the judges announce now.
How amazing is that? So now, but before she comes again, just to let you know that refreshment is served, but it's just here around the corner because we don't want to come and just, contribute to more chaos. So once you're done, just march out easily and go take your refreshment. And now, are you all excited for this? Let me hear you make some noise. Stand up, please. Stand up. There you go. Ekamara, the floor is yours. Can you all stand up, please? Thank you. It's about to get interesting. It's about to get hot in here. I know this is the moment we've been all waiting for. So, there you go, Lady AC. Sorry. You can put this one down and use this one.
Thank you very much. So, hello. So this is the result, and I know some people are very, very tense. I understand the feeling right now. If we have to put potato in the tummies of some people, it will boil instant. I know. But yeah, so this is the result from us, from the four of us. And I just have to make this clear. The results of this debate was as impartial as possible. You understand that we have 2 ladies and 2 men. And the debate, meaning the result is going to be balanced. There's not going to be any situation where there's going to be riffraffs. So just understand that this decision is final from the adjudicators. We do not want instances where people have to come and attack adjudicators for reasons that they did not win. We do not want that. Just note that the decision is final and it's based on our assessment of the entire debate. I'm going to start with the 4th school, and then to the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So the 4th school from the championship goes to St. Augustine's Senior Secondary School.
Well done, St. Augustine's. They're taking 4th place. Good job, boys. Good job. More work, more work. Great. A round of applause for them one more time. Great.
Right. So 3rd place goes to Methodist Senior Secondary School.
A round of applause for Methodist Senior Secondary School for coming 3rd place in the Gail Debate Championship 2019. Good job. Well done.
Good job.
Keep it up. Keep it up. More work. Great job. Your tablet, I'm going to go home with that. I need one for my little sister. So I'll take yours. All right.
So, Moloshi and I have made a decision that we are going to read the national anthem before we announce the 2nd and the 1st place.
Because this is serious. This is serious. Yeah.
We know it is tense between Newsrad and St. Joseph. So we have decided to waste your time a bit, to increase the tension more. So yes, let us sing the national anthem.
Okay, there we go. Are you ready? For the Gambia.
Let's go.
We go after the count of 2. 1, 2. For the... ready? Are you ready to hear who the champion is? Excited? Ready.
Okay. So the other rule is we're going to read the national pledge.
You guys don't want to hear the national pledge, do you? I bet most of you don't know how to even recite that.
Exactly.
You don't know, do you? Are you excited to hear who the winner for the Gail Debate Championship 2019 is? Are you excited? If you don't make the loudest noise, we're not saying this. The loudest noise, please. Are you all excited? Ladies and gentlemen, the winner for the Gail Debate Championship goes to...
The runner-up for
the winner.
Gail.
Yes, the winner.
Yes, the winner. So the winner for the Gail Debate Championship 2019 goes to Newsrat Senior Secondary School.
Oh, Newsrat Senior Secondary School. Great job. Well done.
St. Joseph are the runner-up.
Yes, and of course the runner-up is St. Joseph's. Great job, guys. Great job. So yes, we're first giving St. Joseph their prize, and then Newsrat. Good job. Well done. Well done, ladies. Well done. Well done. Great job. You're all winners, honestly. Coming thus far, you are all winners. So keep up the good work. Nobody is losing here. More work, more reading, more study. And to the winners, a round of applause for Newsrat Senior Secondary School for emerging winners of the Gail Debate Championship 2019. They've shown commitment. They've shown they've done their research. They've really come on this stage and stormed it with facts. Great job, guys. Great job. Well done. Well done. Well deserved. So are the judges fair enough? Really? St. Joseph, of course, I expected that from you. But I think the decision was fair enough. Great job. Well done. And they're going with a grand seal as well. So, you're Mr. Bojang. Mr. Bojang is still the principal. Okay, so he gets to put that in his office. Yes. Okay. Oh, sure. So the best speaker, please come on board, please. You also have a shield. This is amazing. Do we have the teacher coordinator from Newsrat? Okay. On behalf of the school, the teacher coordinator receives the shield. Yes, Newsrat, you can all come together with your teacher and receive your award. Make some noise for Newsrat one more time. Well done. Great job. Congratulations. Thank you all so much. Thank you. It has really been an amazing journey. Thank you all, Auntie Diba. Thank you all, Mr. Diba. Thank you all, Gail.
We just have 5 more minutes and then we have...
Sure. Okay. Entertainment. Sure. And we have the entertainment to close this before we head outside. What? All right, please stay. There's going to be a group photo before we leave for refreshment. And we're going to have Modu to also give the closing remark before we leave. But for now, entertainment, please. Yes. Who's coming? So just 2 minutes for us to do this, I now call on Modu Jallo, who is the program coordinator or program manager, project manager for the debate championship. Modu. Silence, please. Silence.
Hello. Zim. I want to hear the Zim family. Zim. Zim. Well, absolutely, I am really grateful on behalf of Gam Africa Institute for Leadership. I just want to remind you the motive behind this competition. As we always say it in our programs, that we're not organizing a competition that will, bring rivals between schools, but our motive is to build young people with critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and public speaking skills who will stand for their nation in any platform they see themselves without fearing anything. This is the opportunity for you, and I'm saying this again. As we always tell you, we trained you to train others. It's like a baton. We give you the baton, we expect you to give the baton to other, and that other person also give the baton. So on that regard, I would like to thank those who support personally, and then other institutions also that support to the success of this program. And a much thanks will go to the judges. From starting the project, we travel with them to places, Sitajoya Island, Sandalaya Island, and we don't pay them anything, absolutely, because we're just doing this voluntarily. We thank them very well, and we really appreciate it. But I believe we're doing it for our country, right? We're all young people, and I always say this. If there will be any generation to solve the problems or issues that the country is facing, I believe it's our generation. So we need to stand up and then definitely take responsibilities towards national development. So on that note, we're really grateful, for your commitment. And for the participant and teacher coordinators, you have demonstrated disciplines throughout the competition. We never have any problem or any complaints in this 6 months. So this is a really good commitment. I must thank you all. And we're doing it together, and then we expect more to come, inshallah. And then we really, really thank you all. On that note, I remain Modu Jallo, your project manager.
Thank you all so much. Thank you to our impartial judges, job well done, and thank you to all the schools. Now I kindly ask you to join us just around the corner here for who, me? Nice.
Okay, after refreshments, you can collect your transport refunds. We will arrange that. Yeah, we have some food and drinks, and then after that, you can, we're going to collect it and have some photos taken outside. After that, you can sign for your transport refunds.
Thank you all so much, and see you when I see you. Bye-bye.